A few days ago, Ferrari have issued an official statement, confirming that it won a legal case in Italy which prevents Enrico Cardile from starting work at Aston Martin as their new chief technical officer until July 18th. A day after last year's British Grand Prix at the Silverstone circuit, Ferrari confirmed the departure of their chassis technical director Enrico Cardile. The Italian qualified with a degree in aeronautical engineering from Pisa University in 2002, and his thesis was on the topic of the Ferrari wind tunnel. In 2003, he worked at the university, collaborating with Ferrari on an aerodynamic innovation project. In 2005, he joined the Maranello company as head of the Termica department, taking on ever more responsibility, also working on the design of racing versions of Gran Turismo, 458 Italia GT2 and GT3, and 488 GTE and GT3, cars which were dominant in their respective championships, with wins at the Daytona 24 Hours and Le Mans, as well as winning FIA World Endurance Championship world titles. In 2016, he joined the Ferrari racing department as head of aero development, while the following year, he was made vehicle project manager. In 2019, he became head of aerodynamics and vehicle project manager, and in August 2020, he was appointed head of a new performance development department. Since the 1st of January 2021, he had been head of the chassis area. He continued in this role while also being appointed Technical Director Chassis and Aerodynamics in 2023. But eventually there was a deafening silence on the Italian aerodynamicist Enrico Cardile matter. On July 8th of last year, Ferrari, through a terse and cryptic statement, announced that its technical director had resigned. This came after more than 20 years of honorable service with the Maranello Group. To correctly describe the events, it is necessary to contextualize the period, as this announcement had also surprised Formula One insiders. Before joining Aston Martin, the engineer from Arezzo had been appointed Ferrari's technical director directly by Frédéric Vasseur, after inheriting the role from former team principal Mattia Binotto, who left the Maranello team at the end of the 2022 Formula One Championship, a promotion that appeared to be an unequivocal sign of esteem, certainly not an interim position. As a direct consequence of the chaos at Red Bull, due to the internal investigation that placed Christian Horner in the defendant's seat, and for other technical reasons, Adrian Newey, at the start of last season, decided to leave the Milton Keynes team. From that moment, rumors intensified about the supposed arrival of the legendary car designer at the Italian team. This was part of a long-standing courtship, during which Adrian Newey had been very close to joining the historic Maranello-based team. Enrico Cardile's departure seemed to reinforce the possibility of the British designer joining Ferrari, given that the Italian manager had already been announced by Aston Martin as a new reinforcement, and Ferrari appeared willing to go to great lengths to secure the undisputed aerodynamics genius. When it was officially confirmed that Adrian Newey was also heading to the British team, it became clear that Enrico Cardile's resignation was not due to a potential demotion following Adrian Newey's arrival at the Prancing Horse. A few days ago, the mastermind of car design officially began his adventure with Aston Martin, where he will primarily focus on the 2026 Formula One project, though he will also lend a hand, something that appears to be much needed, in improving the performance of the AMR 25 single-seater for the upcoming championship. This F1 car did not perform as expected during the pre-season testing session at the Bahrain circuit last week. Meanwhile, a sort of oblivion had surrounded the former technical director of the team based in Maranello for several months, a silence that could not last forever and had already been raising significant suspicions for some time. In recent days, it has emerged that Ferrari has blocked the Italian aerodynamicist's move, relying on its legal team. The Public Prosecutor's Office of Modena ruled in favor of the Italian side, ordering Enrico Cardile to cease any form of collaboration with Aston Martin until July 18th. The ruling states as follows: the former employee was already violating the non-compete commitment undertaken in favor of Ferrari, whose purpose was to prevent other teams from hiring Enrico Cardile earlier than allowed and gaining an unjustified competitive advantage, causing irreparable damage to the Italian team. Essentially, according to the Modena prosecutor's office, Enrico Cardile allegedly violated what is commonly known as the gardening leave period. The case raises several questions. Gardening leave can last up to 12 months depending on the position held by the employee. Is it possible that a team of Aston Martin's caliber was unaware of the leave period of one of its future top figures? This is a team that, in the past, won a legal battle against Red Bull regarding the hiring of Dan Fallows, and the court's ruling is, quite clearly, of enormous significance. The former Ferrari technical director would have worked for a competitor when, according to the prosecutor's office, he was not allowed to do so, thus breaching the non-compete commitment made to Ferrari. Moreover, how was the alleged violation by the Italian engineer verified? The gardening leave period is a controversial measure designed to prevent the immediate transfer of knowledge from one person to another team. However, it is hard to believe that a highly regarded professional, like the former Italian technical director, would have disregarded his commitments to his former team, openly working for his new employer. All of this in blatant disregard of precise deadlines set when he ended his employment with the Maranello team. Based on the information available to us, the legal dispute between Ferrari and its former technical director has been ongoing for a long time, and the real reasons may concern a possible and hypothetical exchange of information, rather than what has surfaced in recent weeks. Legal action is rarely taken merely for failing to comply with a leave period. Moreover, Lawrence Stroll's alleged resentment would seem misplaced, given that the gardening leave period should have been known as early as last July. Formula One rules prevented teams from starting aerodynamic work on their 2026 single-seaters until the start of January. Now, as a result of the Italian court's decision, Enrico Cardile will only be able to start his role at Aston Martin from next July, which means it is irreparably compromising his contribution to the next technical project. In this context, the official welcome given to the Italian engineer as a key figure in the development of the revolutionary 2026 Formula One cars for next season appears to be, at the very least, incorrect. But at this level, misunderstandings about the timing of gardening leave seem truly absurd and highly implausible. We await further developments in this case. When he arrives, Enrico Cardile's responsibilities will include the architecture, design, and build of new race cars. For now, Adrian Newey has joined Aston Martin as managing technical partner, and the signing represents a huge coup for the team as they bid to take advantage of Formula One's big 2026 rules overhaul to compete at the front of the grid for the sport's biggest prizes, when they will be powered by Honda Works engines for the first time. Former Mercedes engine guru Andy Cowell, who joined the team last October, has taken on team principal responsibilities ahead of the new season, in addition to his Group Chief Executive Officer role. Former team principal Mike Crack is now the team's Chief Trackside Officer, and attended last week's test in Bahrain in that capacity. Aston Martin have finished fifth in the Constructors' Championship in each of the past 2 seasons, although the British driver is targeting fresh improvement this year after scoring a third of the points last season compared with the 2023 Formula One campaign when they claimed 8 podium finishes with Fernando Alonso.